Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at the NAAE conference. We are excited to present for you around creating collective impact on climate communications. My name is Adam Ratner. I'm the Associate Director of Conservation Education at the Marine Mammal Center. I'm also the Training Director for the National Network for Ocean and Climate Change Interpretation. I'll be one of the two speakers for you today, but I'll also turn it over to my colleague to introduce herself and to get us started.
Hi everyone, my name is Mikayla Spencer. I am the Marine Mammal Center's very first Climate Solutions Fellow. I held previous positions at the Wilderness Society and Climate Reality Project, and I'm super happy to be here. And just to share where I am located, I'm in Northern Virginia, which is on ancestral lands on the Monacan tribe.
Now, I'm coming to you from the San Francisco Bay Area, and particularly the Marine Mammal Center in Sausalito, which resides on Coast Miwok land. And the Marine Mammal Center is the world's largest marine mammal hospital and education facility, rescuing sick and injured seals, sea lions, and other marine mammals from over 600 miles of California coast, as well as the Big Island of Hawaii, getting those animals better and getting them back out into the ocean with a second chance at life. And seals and sea lions serve as sentinels for the sea, providing clues to changes happening in our environment. And we know one of the biggest threats to both marine mammals and to people is climate change. And for years, the Marine Mammal Center has been working to help amplify the conversation on climate change. And we know the solution to that is really attacking that at a collective level. Starting around 10 years ago through a needs assessment that the Institute at the Golden Gate produced, we started to identify what are some of the needs and the challenges facing environmental education organizations in the San Francisco Bay Area. And we saw a pretty consistent theme. Most people lacked the capacity, either the resources, the staffing, or the time to be able to bring climate change into their programs. There was a lack of data and models to be able to use and to replicate. And people lacked some of the kind of nuance of what were the behavior change strategies we were looking to try and implement, and how do we do that? And of course, then how do you evaluate it as well? And over the years, we brought together over 30 organizations that were trying to address this by sharing resources, holding joint trainings, creating joint materials. And we saw great success through that collective impact model. Of course, as we got into 2020, a lot of things changed. We saw a lot of the different groups as part of that collective need to take a step back, either as individuals or organizations as a whole. And we started to reevaluate what are the biggest needs of our community when it comes to climate change communication. And we heard a lot that people were hoping to have kind of training on how do we communicate the science of climate change. So we partnered with groups like NOCI, the National Network for Ocean and Climate Change Interpretation, to provide free trainings to environmental educators and climate activists throughout the Bay Area. We held virtual sessions that were really looking at how do we communicate climate change given everything going on in the world with COVID? What does some of the social science say around language use or framing? And of course, with all of the social and racial unrest that we saw in the United States, we wanted to make sure we were elevating environmental justice principles and bringing more of those voices into the conversation and thinking, how can we best support all that work that's happening to not only address climate justice, but social and racial justice at the same time. And through those workshops, we saw enormous potential. We saw great interest and over 250 people interested in partaking in these workshops and joining in on the creation of resources. And in 2021, we've been able to formalize this collaborative. The Marine Mammal Center taking on a role as a climate literacy collaborative, where we got generous funding from NAAE that brought in additional folks to help support with this. So you'll hear from Mikayla, our first Climate Solutions Fellow. We were also able to bring in a steering committee that allows us to have diverse perspectives as we think about what resources and programs we want to put forward that best meet the needs of our community. And it's really exciting what we have on the horizon for the next 6 to 8 months. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mikayla to share a little bit more about some of the things that are in the works and how you can get involved.
So As the Climate Solutions Fellow, I'm here to help create workshops that act as a resource for climate leaders and communicators. From previous workshops, we have listened to the audience, and a common thread was the lack of next steps and guidance on how to get involved to create climate solutions. It's our hope to connect and spotlight groups that have been doing the work, and ultimately to create a framework to easily be replicated. In the 6 months of my fellowship, the goal is to continue to build upon the archive of resources around climate solutions for different audiences and emission sectors. We want to equip audiences with ready-to-go solutions that exist in communities already. And by doing this, we'll help create messaging from groups who have had success on speaking on bridging the gap of educating on climate and climate action. There's so many ways to reduce carbon footprints, but what our intention is to shift the focus from individual to collective action. We plan to conduct 3 workshops that take a deeper dive into specific climate solution topics. Each workshop will have a diverse panel to cultivate rich discussions on their work as it relates to the topic. From this, a resource will be created and shared with the network as a follow-up to continue to inspire a wide range of individuals and groups to push the needle on climate solutions. And as a guiding principle, we have 3 main themes that we want to have present in all of the workshops. First, we want tangible next steps for climate actions based on the toolkits. Second, we want to embed social equity in every step to ensure that we are addressing all communities and highlight social justice within the climate movement as much as possible. And lastly, we want success stories and case studies to be shared to encourage others that we have the power to make a collective impact. We really want people to feel inspired and encouraged, and we want to provide that guidance to implement solutions, amplify the groups that are doing that work, and we're going to act as that connecting bridge, but that's what I think what makes us special and this work impactful. How we determine what workshops we wanted to do is by using Project Drawdown to map to identify the major sectors that produce the most emissions. In terms of workshops, we wanted to match the scale of the problem to the solutions. Within the next 6 months to 8 months, we are here to create workshops, and to kick it off, the first one that we plan to do is the future of renewable energy, which will focus on the switching away from fossil fuels and the future benefits for renewable energy. And contingent from that first workshop, the second one will focus on the future of energy efficiency and what that looks like in different sectors and communities. And lastly, the third workshop will be the future of food and how society can reimagine it as it relates to the intersection of food justice, land use, and the food cycle. If any of this is of interest to you, please stay connected with us. And if you're interested in receiving our free newsletter or getting involved in future events, please reach out to us. And you can also check out our website at the Marine Mammal Center. Looking forward to the Climate Literacy Collaborative. Lastly, we would want to welcome and encourage you all to connect with us in our journey of sustainability and climate solutions. We want to hear from you. We want to go through this together, connected. So please feel free to reach out to me. My information's here, and so is Adam. But I just want to say thank you one more time. So great to be here and present here at the conference.
Thanks, everybody. We hope you stay in touch, and hopefully we'll see you at a future workshop. Take care, everybody.